Hello, everyone. I'm Adrian Antonio.
And I'm Mary Lear, and we're welcoming you back to another episode of The Surface. We're so excited to share an exciting episode with our viewers at home, and we're hoping that we've gained some new audience members.
If you haven't seen any of our previous episodes, you can find those by making your way to the Student Series page on sdscpamainstage.com and clicking on the Surface Archives. And while you're there, be sure to check out the other pages to learn about future events.
Yes, we hope that you all get the chance to do so, but first, we ask that you finish watching this episode. And without further ado, Adrian, what's going on above the surface?
Well, Mary, the month of March is very busy for SCPA. Are you interested in running for ASB? ASB applications are out now and will last until March 19th and are located in the ASB website, which can be found in the link on the ASB Instagram at SDSCPASB. This week, there'll be a series of informational meetings about the various positions of ASB, so make sure to attend. Pie Day is coming on March 14th. To celebrate, SDSCPA Key Club is hosting a Pie for the Pediatric Trauma Program fundraiser. You can donate $2 to pie one of your favorite teachers, including Mr. DeFreitas, Ms. Mooney, or Mr. Bloss. Deadline to donate is March 14th. Check out the Key Club's link tree, which can be found on their Instagram at SDSCPA Key Club. SDSCPA's Academic League meets Tuesdays and Thursdays from 3:30 to 4:30 with academic matches on Thursdays at 7 p.m. This week, they'll be facing University City High School. Make sure to join the action by following their Instagram at SDSCPA Academic League or joining the Remind by texting SCPAAC to 81010. It'll be 1 year since SDSCPA families were able to gather together in the Florence Johnson and watch a show. Let's commemorate that night by getting together and opening the SDSCPA vault. This Friday at 7 p.m. will be Family Night Friday, where we watch a past SDSCPA performance. The excitement is not knowing what you're watching until you get there. Head over to the SDSCPA Main Stage Hub and RSVP under Family Night Fridays. There's a principal's chat tomorrow at 6:30, so make sure to attend. Join the discussion with Principal Farson and others to ensure that your voice is heard, especially during these crucial times. And that's pretty much all the announcements we have today. Back to you, Mary.
Yeah, I can't, those are some great announcements. I can't wait to go to Family Night Fridays. I think that's going to be real fun. So, it's really great to see how SCPA students haven't lost their spirit. They're really using social media to connect with everyone.
I completely agree. Although it can be hard to engage with your classmates through a screen, I think SCPA is making the best of the situation. Personally, I've been serving as ASB, which is our student government. I've been serving as the CPD commissioner, and what CPD stands for is Community and Professional Development. So it's basically my job to ensure that all SCPA students feel involved with the family. For example, one of our most recent events that we did in CPD was a movie night. We watched Ratatouille. Small turnout, but it was intimate. We managed, we got some people feeling involved. That is basically the mission of my position, and that's just me personally. I don't know about other people, but I've been trying my best to make sure everyone's feeling involved.
Yeah, I definitely think that having the barrier of screens makes it really different from how we would normally interact in our average school year. Obviously it's not going to be the same as going to school in person, which we've discussed before. But like you said, I think that SCPA has really got some amazing school spirit, some amazing people on ASB, and our school spirit really hasn't been dampened by the wild situation our world is in, which is what brings us to today's topic. We are going to be talking about going viral.
We asked you all about the role social media plays in your life. I think everyone's tired of hearing us talk. Now it's time to see what you, the audience, has to say. Let's see what's going on below the surface.
Each week, we send out a survey to students to get their opinions on SCPA culture. Since we're discussing social media during the pandemic, we first wanted to establish that students were actually using social media. So our first question was about finding out what's entertaining students during the pandemic.
One student says, "My biggest source of entertainment during the pandemic has been FaceTiming my friends every day to keep each other company, to talk, watch movies and TV shows, and to listen to music together." And another says, "What I've been doing the most is honestly FaceTime. Sometimes I'm on FaceTime for 5 hours at a time, and it truly centers me." I like that word, centers. It reminds me you gotta keep yourself grounded. You gotta keep yourself centered by talking to your people, because while we are socially distancing, we don't want to be emotionally distant from people. It's great to hear people are connecting with each other, even though it is digital. And we got a lot of responses praising streaming services like Netflix, Hulu, and Disney Plus. But I know that me and Mary are very biased towards HBO Max. I think it is
yes, I love HBO Max. Just watched a ton of Ghibli movies this weekend. I totally related to all of the answers provided in this week's survey. I think that it's really relatable to see how we've all used social media and FaceTime and all that. However, our most overwhelming response was, you guessed it, TikTok. We got 90% of responses that mentioned the app.
Which is no surprise and leads us to our next question. We wanted to know what trends people enjoyed online. We heard answers about self-love, fashion, Among Us, driver's license, and I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but WAP.
We also got a lot of answers like, I liked when people were making Dalgona coffee. I had never had it, but it was a pleasant time. So if that Dalgona coffee, that was so good. There's a photo. I don't really remember most trends, but the whipped coffee one was pretty good. Somebody here says, I don't even remember, but I missed the beginning when people had cloud bread and whipped coffee, two very light things. There's an image. We have TikTok has been an app that's established many trends. The Dalgona whipped coffee as a caffeine lover was one of their favorites. So, I think that pretty obviously there's another image. I think that people really liked their whipped coffee during the pandemic. I think that that's a safe assumption to make.
A controversial statement here, but I really did not get the hype of Dalgona coffee. Like I made it once, but it really was underwhelming to me because you could really just make hot like instant coffee with creamer and stuff and just put it in the freezer and it'll be the same thing. I don't know. People just like to add in the extra work.
We've definitely been changing the way that we drink coffee recently. I know like Starbucks just came out with their shaken espresso. So it seems like we're really digging like aerated, caffeinated beverages.
Just give me a cup of Nescafe instant coffee. I'll be happy. But isn't it kind of weird that we're already nostalgic for the old days of quarantine already?
It's super weird. It's so strange to me. But as we're reading our student responses, we'd like to bring on this week's guest. Our final question on our survey was, have anyone that you known at SCPA gone viral during the pandemic? And 70% of responses said yes. One response even mentioned our previous guest, Miss Mooney. So this week, we are so excited to bring somebody with a huge TikTok following to our show, junior and musical theater major Olive Bonito.
Hi, guys. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much for joining us. Welcome.
Thank you.
So, Olive, just give us a quick introduction of you. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Olive. I'm 16. I guess I should talk about TikTok. My TikTok page just hit 40K last Friday. And mostly I post comedic content. Every once in a while I post something educational about anti-Semitism, my political opinions sometimes, lots of Holocaust history. So yeah, that's a bit about me.
So Olive, we are aware that you've gained quite the following on TikTok, 40,000. That is definitely a feat to be praised.
It is hard to comprehend.
Yeah, what's it like knowing that you can share content with so many other people?
Well, the first thing that comes to mind, it is a lot of pressure because anything I post or say has the potential to be seen by hundreds and thousands and even millions sometimes of people. So if I mess up, it's going to have a huge impact. If I say something inaccurate, lots of people are going to go on repeating it. But also, it's a lot of power if I find a way to use it for good, which often I have. And a lot of people tell me that their opinions have changed because of things I've said. And I just like to think that I'm having a positive impact and spreading more truth and sharing about my experiences to the world.
Yeah. If you don't mind, we'd love to share some of your TikToks with the audience so they can get to know you a little bit better. Ms. Gutierrez, could we play the first three, I think? I'm gonna eat your girl dry. If you
Yeah, I would not recommend eating TikToks. Not eating TikTok, eating Tide Pods. Wow. That ended in my mom screaming at me in the middle of a Schoolhouse Rock dress rehearsal. So
that's quite a story. Do we have any more, Ms. Gutierrez?
What happened to hello? How are you? My name is. What happened to that?
So
I feel like we've all experienced that.
Yeah, it's one of the biggest challenges for online learning for me because I don't always want to be seeing myself on the screen.
And there's one more we'd love to share. This one's my favorite.
If you don't sit your behind down, you are a professional. This trend is not for you. You are a teacher. So how about you just stop there and wave and smile and act like nothing's wrong. Don't you do it again.
The ultimate crossover. If you guys haven't seen our first episode, you should go and watch that when this is over. Because we should have Miss Mooney as our guest. It's so great, so great.
What is this? A crossover episode?
Exactly.
That was beautiful. Oh Lord.
Thank you.
I do wonder, do you think that being active on social media and having this following has like really helped you connect with other people who like share interests or similarities? Like, do you feel like you found your crowd of people?
I absolutely have, and I never knew my crowd of people was so large. I start to recognize when people comment over and over, I feel like I have a bunch of friends. People send me things and tag me in things, and it just feels like a really big friend group. And they help me with things as well. Like just last week, I was having a really stressful time looking for colleges, but I asked my following if they knew any colleges that fit my requirements, and I got hundreds of comments telling me where they think I should go. So it's like a really great support system to have.
Yeah, in social media, it's a good tool to use. You could use it for the good or for the worse, but I'm gonna say that you're using it for the good.
Thank you.
It's great to hear, though. I definitely think that social media has helped us all stay connected with each other since the start of the pandemic, and seeing as we can't really see each other in real life. In our survey, we asked students if they felt that they've been spending more time on social media since the pandemic. Everyone but one person said they had. And several people said it was because they could connect with their friends, and someone went as far to say, every single day for school, my phone would be charged at 100%. Then after school, it'd be like at 85%. And now I need to charge it twice a day because of how much I use my phone. Definitely, like my screen time when I get it on Sunday, it's like very embarrassing to see.
Yeah.
Embarrassing.
Notification is out to get me.
Absolutely. I do think that it's important to recognize that there are some negative effects with social media in addition to positive connections. Have you had like negative experiences with such a large following as well, being under all that pressure?
Absolutely. First of all, social media is meant to be addictive. As much as I do enjoy it and put a lot of effort into the things I post, I know they're playing with my mind. And I think acknowledging that is like the first step to social media addiction recovery. But also, my posts don't always end up being seen by the people I want to see it. When I was beginning TikTok, most of my content was about anti-Semitism and my experiences as a Jewish person. And I had a lot of neo-Nazis in my comments saying just the most violent, hateful things. Luckily, I've gotten off of that side of the internet, but it just really shows you there are some people who will go out of their way to say the most nasty things.
Yeah, sorry you had to deal with that. That's terrible. But, it definitely is something that the internet is known for, like trolls and stuff like that. And, you really have to be a good manager of what side you're exposing yourself to.
Yeah, as much as like social media can help us connect, it's also really easy to forget that there are like real people behind these screens and like people saying such hateful, rude things. I'm sorry that you had to deal with that. Yeah.
Ms. Gutierrez, could we play one of Olive's TikToks about anti-Semitism? I think the audience should see some of these.
It has come to my attention that lots of people don't know what sort of things are anti-Semitic, so I'm just going to list some so you know what to look out for, because if you're an activist, your activism needs to include Jewish people. Coming in at number 1, Holocaust denial. This does include saying things like, well, I believe it happened, but it couldn't have been 6 million. People use Holocaust denial to say that Jewish people make things up for attention, money, social status, whatever. Number 2, saying that Jewish people are really wealthy or like money obsessed, which includes throwing pennies at Jewish people. Normally you'd think it's good for people to think that you're rich, but a big anti-Semitic trope is that Jewish people are super greedy and will do anything for money and will scam you and stuff like that. The belief that 10 Jewish men sit at a table and make all world decisions. Obviously, most world decisions are made by a few people in power, but it is not a table full of old Jewish men. And that trope was really big during 1940s Germany. So let's not bring that into current day, please. This is part 1, and there will be another clearly labeled.
Yeah.
I love how much TikTok is about education. I think that obviously everything is on TikTok, but it's crazy the stuff that I've learned from like an app that I expected to just be like the next Vine.
So
Yeah, but you also have to do your own research. And Olive, you mentioned to us that you do your own research. Could you expand upon that?
I mean, I see a lot of things on TikTok. I was introduced to my current political opinions through TikTok, but you can't believe everything that the internet tells you. So obviously, I go on to do my own research. If somebody's talking about an event on TikTok, I'll make sure it actually happened. Just stuff like that. I definitely recommend that to anybody who uses social media because most people aren't citing their sources.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And you often post political and educational videos, which I'm very appreciative of because definitely there's some stuff that the current curriculum across America does not cover. Could you explain why you're so interested in discussing these topics?
I think as somebody with a platform, it is my job to use it to do as much good as I can and as least harm as I can. And I have experiences that other people don't know about that I'd like to share. I might not be the smartest person in the world, but I think everybody has something to share and we can all gain a bit from learning about other people's experiences and perspectives.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I just wanted to kind of get this question out of the way. So you obviously congratulations on 40K. That's incredible. Is TikTok something that you recently started really working on, or have you been on TikTok for years and years and years? Like, tell us a little bit about how you got to 40K.
Well, I started on TikTok at the very beginning of quarantine. I had like 50 followers at its peak, and I had like 3 likes per video. I did not get very popular right away. Then I stayed on the app for a while. That account, I couldn't log back into it, so then I got a new one. And that account made it to about 15K and had much more success than the previous. And I was learning more what type of content people enjoy and where my strengths lie. And then that account got deleted for reasons that TikTok still won't tell me. And now I'm on my newest account, which got a lot of followers from that previous one with 15K. And then it just continues to grow.
That's awesome. If you don't mind, I'll share a bit of a little anecdote of how we decided to get you on the show. So obviously you've been attending SCPA, but this is bad on my part. Like, I'm really not good with names. I've definitely seen your face around SCPA before, but this was recent. This was like maybe 3 months ago. I was like scrolling through TikTok and I find like one of your TikToks on my For You page. And I was like, wow, they look very familiar. Who is this person? And I just shoved it in the back of my memory for that. And then we get into sociology, which is a college class, and it's one of my favorite classes, actually. I turn on my camera, and then you turn on your camera. I was like, wait, you look familiar. And then I was like, oh. And by then, we were already discussing our episode 4 of The Surface and like what it should be about, like the going viral. And I was like, I think this person has like a bunch of followers. So I go back to your page and it's like, ooh, that's a lot. Wow, that's a lot for SCPA. So that's a fun story I'll share with everyone watching right now.
It's crazy how like TikTok finds a way. It's insane how many like people I know in real life that like have come across my For You page, but like we don't have any like mutual like followers or anything. It's a scary app sometimes.
It's quite scary. Yeah,
it really is. I found people from a summer camp that I went to in Wisconsin in like the summer of 8th grade. They're like, I was in Once on This Island with you, and then I remember them. Like, how?
That is terrifying.
That's so funny.
I also had this search that I started through TikTok. I was looking for an old internet friend from middle school who I had completely lost contact with. That video blew up. People were sending it around to anybody who might fit the description. And eventually I ended up finding that person and being able to reconnect with them after like half a month of searching. And it was just so crazy. Social media has so much power.
That's insane.
That's awesome.
That's really crazy. And I think that it's super impressive how you've used the app to really help like educate and also connect in that way. That's really amazing. Now, before you go, I am wondering, like, let's say hypothetically somebody wants to like start a TikTok account and gain some following. Do you have any advice, any words of wisdom, since you're a very popular creator?
I would say if you're using the platform that I do, TikTok, the algorithm, it's all algorithmic. It's very finicky. And I would not get too caught up on on looking at my views and looking at my likes, because if you view it as a pass or fail, like my video did well, good on me, or my video didn't do well, I failed today, that's just going to cause you so much mental stress, and it's completely out of your control. The way I see it, if my video only reaches 3 people, I would still be very excited to share things with 3 people. Like there are 2 people in the room right now and I'm not shut off and not talking to you. So I think anybody seeing your content should be very exciting, and definitely don't beat yourself up if it doesn't go the way that you want.
That's a great way to look at it.
Really great
it. And before you go though, other than TikTok, what have you been doing to pass the time during quarantine? Like any TV shows that you recommend, any books that you've been reading?
I've watched BoJack Horseman so many times over and over. Right now I'm watching Death Note for the first time. It's very good. And lately I've been picking up listening to podcasts. My 2 favorites right now are Bingetopia and The Sewers of Paris. I would definitely recommend those.
Mary, correct me if I'm wrong, but don't you have like a strong disdain for podcasts?
I find it really hard to get into them. I'd rather listen to myself talk. I'm a very talkative person, which is kind of ironic that I wouldn't want to listen to podcasts, but I am a huge fan of BoJack Horseman. I did catch that crossover reference earlier. So
Yeah.
I think we do have one more TikTok, I think, to show. Maybe I might be wrong, but if we could play that now, that would be great.
This is brave, this is bruised, this is who I'm meant to be, this is me.
I love those memes.
Thank you so much for joining us tonight, Olive. You're such a pleasure to talk to, and I think that this conversation has been really insightful for so many reasons. So thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Thank you so much for having me. I had a great time.
I'll see you in class on Wednesday.
See you in sociology.
Yeah.
Right.
Thank you for joining us, Olive.
Olive.
Thank you.
Now, if you don't mind, Mary, I'm going to expand upon our conversation about podcasts earlier, because I know you have a strong disdain, but isn't this basically a podcast with our faces?
Yes, but I think that that's different because our faces are in it, and I would maybe watch a podcast in a video format, but
I get it. Okay. Now is the time that we introduce you to another signature segment of The Surface, a part of the show we like to call the Student Spotlight. Each week, we like to place one of SCPA's many, many, many talented artists into the spotlight and show work that they've submitted. Stick around until the end of this episode to see how you can have your work featured on a future episode of The Surface. Before we continue, I need to talk about our next guest, because I definitely think that this next guest is has received the most virality, is that a word, throughout the pandemic.
yeah.
He has over 1 million views on one of his biggest videos. He's like 1,000 subscribers away from 100K on YouTube. His name is RJ Willis, and basically what he got famous for during the pandemic was recreating hip-hop songs using his voice alone. And if you know hip-hop, you know that there's so many intricate parts of it. This is definitely one of the most creative artists I've ever seen. His name's RJ Willis. He's going to be we're going to be featuring one of his original songs called Rapture. And I am so excited because he's a very good friend of mine. He's talented, I should say. I can't understate it. So, Ms. Gutierrez, you can roll the video whenever.
Mic check. Yeah. All facts, no printer. I'm not afraid to kill you cause I wouldn't really miss you. My rhymes would destroy you. Wham, a careless whisper. My heart is colder than the middle of the winter. I don't give a about you, mister. And if you try to mess with me, I'll go and your sister. Maybe you already did, but you wouldn't know, would you? If you wanted to take me out, you coulda, woulda, shoulda. Nah, maybe just talking, but you don't know that for sure. I recommend that you just watch it back wherever you go. Cause I might pop up behind you, pick you up like a. Now I know that sounds harsh, but I mean it, you dig? Sticks and stones can't break your bones, but I will. Do you believe in God? If so, you better read your Bible, cause the rapture is coming. So you better start running. Better get humble like a mumble, cause you know I be thumping. I'm the beat, I be stunning. Super proud like me loving. Are you to see my get up like I'm fucking me double? When I walk the grass, it's the rumble. I am not known to stumble. With my lightning bolt, I'll strike you, call me the God of thunder. Yeah. All facts, no printer. I'm not afraid to kill you cause I wouldn't really miss you. My rhymes will destroy you. Wham, a careless whisper. Models colder than the middle of the winter. I said, all facts, no printer. I'm not afraid to kill you cause I wouldn't really miss you. My rhymes will destroy you. Wham, a careless whisper. Models colder than the middle of the winter. Hey. 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 Hey.
That was so cool.
So great. Gotta check out his YouTube channel and see.
I just looked at it. He's 300 subscribers away from 100,000. So make sure to support RJ.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Unfortunately, it is that time in our show where we do have to wrap up. But before we go, you should know the ways that you can reach out to us and get more information on The Surface. We have an Instagram account at thesurface.scpa with a super helpful card, and make sure to check out our section on the SCPA Mainstage website. Just go to sdscpamainstage.com, head over to the Student Series page, and there you'll be able to find all of our old episodes, our Student Spotlight submission area, and our weekly survey.
Speaking of the weekly survey, let's talk about the next topic for future episodes, for 2 new future episodes of The Surface. They're titled No Place for Hate, and it'll be a special 2-part episode. And in our first episode, we'll be interviewing students on the No Place for Hate committee and learn more about the committee's role in the safe and friendly environment we have here at SCPA.
Thank you all so much for watching today's episode. We're so excited to see you next week on
The Surface.